Mastering nonverbal communication tips and tricks. Mastering nonverbal communication tips and tricks. Communication is more than just the words we speak. In fact, according to some studies, nonverbal communication accounts for up to 93% of our daily communication. Nonverbal communication is comprised of our gestures, facial expressions, body language, tone of voice, and other forms of nonverbal cues that often go unnoticed. As social beings, the ability to communicate well is essential. This leads to the importance of mastering nonverbal communication, which can have a significant impact on the outcomes of our interactions with others. Here are some tips and tricks to enhance your nonverbal communication skills. 1. Pay attention to your posture. The way you stand or sit sends strong messages to those around you. Slouching may indicate disinterest, while standing straight and tall can make you appear more confident and engaged. Your posture can also affect your breathing, which, in turn, affects your tone of voice. To project a confident and attentive image, keep your head up, shoulders back, and chest open. 2. Practice eye contact. Eye contact is a powerful nonverbal communication tool. It conveys interest, confidence, and sincerity. However, too much or too little eye contact can be perceived negatively. Too much eye contact might make you appear aggressive or intimidating, while too little eye contact might indicate disinterest or lack of confidence. So, maintain consistent eye contact while speaking and look away when you need to think or pause. 3. Gestures. Hand movements, facial expressions, and body language play important roles in nonverbal communication. Simple gestures, such as nodding in agreement, can convey an understanding and add more emphasis to the message you are trying to communicate. While delivering a speech, using your hands to punctuate points can create a more dynamic and engaging presentation and make the audience more receptive to what you are saying. 4. Mirror the other person's body language. We unconsciously mimic the body language of those we are talking to. It is a sign of rapport and can show that you are engaged and interested in the conversation. Consider mirroring the other person's energy level and tone of voice when you are communicating. This may create a sense of harmony and understanding. 5. Be conscious of your facial expressions. Facial expressions play a significant role in nonverbal communication. A smiling face brings a welcoming and friendly tone to conversations. Frowning or appearing angry can convey frustration, annoyance, or disapproval. So, be sure to check your facial expressions to ensure that you convey the intended message. 6. Tone of voice. In addition to what you say, how you say it can impact your communication. Your tone of voice can convey enthusiasm, anger, boredom, or sarcasm. It often sets the emotional tone of a conversation, and the listener is likely to be influenced by it. So, it is important to use an appropriate tone of voice that best conveys your intended message. 7. Be aware of cultural differences. Nonverbal communication differs from culture to culture. Gestures, eye contact, and even the meaning of a smile can mean very different things in different cultures. For instance, direct eye contact is seen as a sign of respect in some cultures, while in others, it is considered rude or aggressive. So, it is essential to be aware of these cultural differences to avoid misunderstandings. 8. Consistency is key. Maintaining consistency in your nonverbal cues can help build trust and credibility within your interactions. Inconsistency between your words and nonverbal cues can create a sense of mistrust and confusion. For instance, saying yes while shaking your head no sends conflicting messages that may lead to misunderstandings. 9. Practice, practice, practice. Mastering nonverbal communication requires practice. The more you are aware of your nonverbal cues, the more you can fine-tune them to enhance your communication skills. It is essential to observe yourself in various communication situations, such as one-on-one conversations, group settings, or public speaking. Critical thinking skills: explore different points of view and evaluate objectively. Critical thinking skills are essential for making informed decisions and solving complex problems. It involves the ability to think logically, analyze and evaluate information objectively, and draw reasoned conclusions. Developing critical thinking skills requires practice and patience, but it is an important skill that can be used in many aspects of life. What is critical thinking? Critical thinking is the ability to analyze, evaluate, and synthesize information in order to draw reasoned conclusions. It involves the ability to think logically and objectively, and to consider alternative perspectives. Critical thinking also involves the ability to identify and assess arguments and to recognize logical fallacies. Developing critical thinking skills. Developing critical thinking skills requires practice and patience. Here are some tips for developing your critical thinking skills. Read widely and critically. Reading is one of the best ways to develop your critical thinking skills. Read a variety of materials and consider different perspectives on the same topic. Ask questions. Asking questions is an important part of critical thinking. Ask yourself questions such as: what assumptions am I making? And what evidence do I have to support my argument? Challenge your beliefs. Challenge your own beliefs and assumptions and consider alternative perspectives. Explore different points of view. Explore different points of view and consider different perspectives on the same topic. Practice logical reasoning. Practice logical reasoning by examining the evidence and arguments for and against a particular position. Benefits of critical thinking. Developing critical thinking skills can have many benefits, including improved problem-solving skills. Critical thinking can help you identify and solve problems more effectively. Improved decision-making skills. Critical thinking can help you make better decisions by considering all the available evidence and options. Improved communication skills. Critical thinking can help you communicate more effectively by considering different perspectives and arguments. Improved creativity. Critical thinking can help you come up with creative solutions to problems. Conclusion. Critical thinking is an essential skill for making informed decisions and solving complex problems. Developing critical thinking skills requires practice and patience, but it is an important skill that can be used in many aspects of life. With the right mindset and dedication, you can develop your critical thinking skills and use them to your advantage. Critical thinking is a valuable skill that involves evaluating information and arguments objectively, exploring different points of view, and making informed decisions. It is essential in today's world, where we are constantly bombarded with information and opinions from various sources. In this article, we will discuss what critical thinking skills are, why they matter, and how to develop them. What are critical thinking skills? Critical thinking skills are the ability to analyze information, arguments, and evidence objectively, without bias or preconceptions. They involve evaluating the validity and reliability of sources, considering alternative perspectives, and making informed judgments based on evidence and logical reasoning. Why do critical thinking skills matter? Critical thinking skills are essential in today's world for several reasons. Making informed decisions. Critical thinking skills enable individuals to make informed decisions based on objective analysis and evaluation, rather than relying on emotions or biases. Problem solving. Critical thinking skills allow individuals to identify the root causes of problems and develop effective solutions. Effective communication. Critical thinking skills facilitate clear and effective communication, as individuals can articulate their ideas and arguments in a logical and convincing manner. Creativity. Critical thinking skills can foster creativity by encouraging individuals to consider multiple perspectives and think outside the box. How to develop critical thinking skills? Developing critical thinking skills requires practice and dedication. Here are some strategies for developing critical thinking skills. Question assumptions. Challenge assumptions and beliefs, both your own and those of others. Ask yourself why you think a certain way, and consider alternative viewpoints. Seek out diverse perspectives. Expose yourself to a range of perspectives and ideas, including those that may challenge your own beliefs. This can help you develop empathy and understanding for different viewpoints. Evaluate sources of information. Be critical of the information you consume and evaluate the credibility and reliability of sources. Consider the biases and motivations of the sources and whether they are supported by evidence. Apply logic and reasoning. Use logical reasoning and evidence-based arguments to support your ideas and evaluate the ideas of others. This involves identifying premises and conclusions, evaluating the strength of arguments, and detecting fallacies. Practice reflection. Take time to reflect on your own thought processes and decision-making. Consider what biases or assumptions may have influenced your thinking and how you can improve in the future. Engage in problem-solving activities. Practice problem-solving activities that require critical thinking skills, such as puzzles, debates, or brainstorming sessions. Seek feedback. Ask others for feedback on your thinking and decision-making. This can help you identify blind spots and areas for improvement. In conclusion, critical thinking skills are essential for making informed decisions, solving complex problems, and effectively communicating ideas. Developing these skills requires practice, reflection, and a willingness to challenge assumptions and consider multiple perspectives. Self-development skills, self-study and self-development through goal setting and continuous learning. Self-development is an important part of living a healthy and fulfilling life. It involves taking the time to focus on personal growth and development, both physically and mentally. Self-development can take many forms, from setting goals and learning new skills to developing healthy habits and taking care of yourself. The first step in self-development is to identify your goals. This could include both short-term and long-term goals. Once you have identified your goals, you can start to create a plan for how to achieve them. This could involve setting deadlines, breaking down tasks into manageable chunks, and seeking out resources that can help you reach your goals. It is also important to practice self-study. This means taking the time to learn new skills and gain knowledge. This could involve reading books, taking classes, or engaging in activities that challenge you. It is important to remember that self-study is a lifelong process. It is not something that you can complete in a short period of time. In addition to self-study, it is also important to practice self-care. This means taking the time to nurture yourself, both physically and mentally, in order to achieve a sense of balance and well-being. This could involve getting enough sleep and exercise, taking time for hobbies and activities that bring joy, and recognizing and addressing any mental health issues that may be present. Finally, it is important to practice self-compassion. This means being kind and understanding to yourself, even when you make mistakes. It is important to recognize that everyone makes mistakes and that it is okay to make mistakes. Learning how to forgive yourself and move forward is an important part of self-development. Self-development is an important part of living a healthy and fulfilling life. It involves taking the time to focus on personal growth and development, both physically and mentally. This involves identifying goals, practicing self-study, practicing self-care, and practicing self-compassion. By taking these steps, you can learn how to develop self-development skills through goal setting and continuous learning. Self-development is an ongoing process that involves continuous learning and personal growth. It is essential for success in both personal and professional life. Developing self-development skills involves setting goals, self-study, and continuous learning. In this article, we will explore ways to develop self-development skills. Set goals. Setting goals is an essential aspect of self-development. This involves identifying what you want to achieve and developing a plan to reach those goals. Set goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. SMART. Break larger goals into smaller, achievable tasks and set deadlines to keep yourself accountable. Use your goals as a motivator to push yourself to learn and grow. Self-study. Self-study is an essential aspect of self-development. This involves taking the initiative to learn and grow on your own. Identify areas of weakness or areas that you wish to improve and seek out resources to learn more about them. This can include reading books, taking online courses, attending workshops or seminars, or seeking out a mentor. Self-study helps you develop skills and knowledge that can contribute to personal and professional growth. Continuous learning. Continuous learning is essential for self-development. This involves actively seeking out opportunities to learn and grow, even after formal education has ended. This can include attending conferences, participating in webinars, reading industry publications, or taking part in professional development programs. Continuous learning helps you stay up to date with industry trends and best practices, and can contribute to personal and professional growth. Practice self-reflection. Self-reflection is an essential aspect of self-development. This involves taking the time to reflect on your experiences, emotions, and behaviors. Set aside time each day or week to reflect on your actions and decisions. Ask yourself what went well and what could have been done better. Reflecting on your experiences can help you identify areas for growth and development. Develop resilience. Developing resilience is essential for self-development. Resilience involves the ability to bounce back from setbacks and challenges. Develop a positive mindset and learn to view challenges as opportunities for growth. Develop coping mechanisms that work for you, such as meditation, exercise, or talking to a trusted friend or mentor. Developing resilience can help you overcome obstacles and achieve your goals. Network and collaborate. Networking and collaboration are essential for self-development. Seek out opportunities to network with peers and colleagues in your industry. Collaborate with others on projects or initiatives. This can help you develop new skills and knowledge and learn from others' experiences. Conclusion. In conclusion, developing self-development skills is essential for personal and professional growth. Self-development involves setting goals, self-study, continuous learning, self-reflection, resilience, networking, and collaboration. Remember, self-development is a continuous process that requires effort and dedication, but the rewards are worth it. By developing self-development skills, you can achieve your goals, grow personally and professionally, and lead a fulfilling life. Self-development encompasses any skills, habits, or knowledge that helps you grow, improve, and evolve as a person over time. Skills for walking in the mountains. Exploring the mountains can be a thrilling and rewarding experience, but it is important to have the necessary skills and knowledge to stay safe. Here are some essential mountain travel skills that everyone should know before heading into the great outdoors. Navigation. Navigation is one of the most important mountain travel skills. It is important to be able to read a map and use a compass in order to find your way in the mountains. Reading a map requires knowledge of basic symbols and features, such as contour lines, rivers, and roads. A compass can be used to orient a map and to determine direction. It is also important to know how to use a GPS device, as this can be a useful tool in an emergency situation. Weather forecasting. Weather forecasting is another essential mountain travel skill. It is important to be able to read a weather forecast, as this will help you plan for any potential storms. Reading a weather forecast requires knowledge of symbols and terminology, such as temperature, wind speed, and precipitation. It is also important to be aware of the local weather conditions, as this can help you make decisions about when to go into the mountains. Equipment. Having the right equipment is essential for a safe and successful mountain trip. It is important to have the right clothing and gear for the conditions, such as warm layers, waterproof outerwear, and sun protection. It is also important to have the necessary tools for setting up camp, such as a tent, a sleeping bag, and a stove. A first aid kit should also be included in any mountain trip, as it can be invaluable in case of an emergency. Safety. Safety is one of the most important mountain travel skills. It is important to be aware of potential hazards, such as rockfall, avalanches, and crevasses. It is also important to know how to use safety equipment, such as a rope or a harness. A basic knowledge of first aid can also be useful in case of an emergency. Survival. Survival skills are essential for any mountain trip. It is important to know how to find food and shelter in the mountains, as well as how to build a fire and purify water. It is also important to know how to signal for help in an emergency situation, such as using a whistle or a signal mirror. Conclusion. Mountain travel can be a thrilling and rewarding experience, but it is important to have the necessary skills and knowledge to stay safe. By mastering the essential mountain travel skills, you can be sure to have a safe and enjoyable trip. With the right preparation and knowledge, you can explore the mountains with confidence and peace of mind. Mountain travel is an exhilarating and challenging experience that offers breathtaking views of nature's beauty. However, it requires a certain skill set to ensure safety and enjoyment of the journey. Whether you are a seasoned adventurer or a beginner, understanding the essential mountain travel skills is crucial. In this article, we will explore some of the most critical mountain travel skills every adventurer should know. Navigation. Navigation is one of the most crucial skills for mountain travel. Mountains are vast and complex, and it's easy to get lost in their vastness. A good map and compass are essential tools to have, and it's important to know how to use them. Additionally, it's a good idea to familiarize yourself with the area you will be traveling in and to pay attention to landmarks along the way. If you are traveling in a group, assign a designated navigator to ensure everyone stays on track. In the event of an emergency, knowing how to read a map and use a compass can mean the difference between life and death. Therefore, taking a navigation course or practicing navigation skills before embarking on a mountain journey is highly recommended. Weather awareness. Mountain weather can be unpredictable and change rapidly. It's essential to stay aware of weather conditions before and during your journey. Check the weather forecast and be prepared for a wide range of conditions. Mountains often have their microclimates, so it's important to be observant and anticipate changes in the weather. Pay attention to cloud formations, wind direction, and temperature changes throughout your journey. If you notice dark clouds forming or thunder in the distance, it's a sign to seek shelter immediately. Always carry appropriate clothing for the weather conditions, including warm layers, rain gear, and sun protection. And if the weather conditions become too dangerous, it's best to turn back or seek shelter until conditions improve. First aid. Accidents can happen in any environment, but they can be particularly challenging in the mountains, where medical help may be far away. Therefore, having a good understanding of first aid skills is essential for mountain travel. It's important to carry a well-stocked first aid kit with you that includes adhesive bandages, antiseptic wipes, gauze pads, and tweezers. Additionally, it's a good idea to know how to treat common mountain-related injuries such as blisters, sprains, and altitude sickness. If you are traveling in a group, assign a designated first aider who has the necessary skills and knowledge to administer first aid in case of an emergency. Gear selection. Selecting the right gear for your mountain travel is essential for your safety and comfort. Choose gear that is appropriate for the conditions you will be facing, such as sturdy boots, warm clothing, and a waterproof jacket. Additionally, it's a good idea to carry a headlamp or flashlight, extra batteries, and a whistle in case of emergencies. If you are planning a multi-day trek, having proper backpacking gear is essential. This includes a durable backpack, a lightweight tent, a sleeping bag, a sleeping pad, and a stove for cooking. It's important to invest in high-quality gear that is durable and reliable, as it can make a significant difference in your mountain travel experience. Leave no trace. When traveling in the mountains, it's essential to practice leave no trace principles to protect the environment and preserve the wilderness for future generations. Pack out all of your trash, dispose of human waste appropriately, and avoid disturbing wildlife and vegetation. It's important to respect the environment around you and leave it as you found it. Additionally, it's critical to stay on designated trails and avoid creating new ones. First aid and first aid skills in the case of an emergency in the mountains. First aid and first aid skills are essential in the case of an emergency in the mountains. Knowing how to respond to an emergency situation in the mountains can be the difference between life and death. In this article, we will discuss the importance of first aid and first aid skills in the case of an emergency in the mountains. First aid is the initial medical assistance given to an injured or ill person. It is important to be prepared for any emergency situation, and having a basic knowledge of first aid is essential. Knowing how to perform basic first aid procedures such as CPR, wound care, and splinting can be critical in the case of an emergency in the mountains. It is also important to have a basic understanding of medical terminology and how to identify and treat common injuries and illnesses. In addition to having a basic knowledge of first aid, it is also important to have the proper equipment. Having a first aid kit that is properly stocked with supplies such as bandages, gauze, antiseptic, and scissors is essential. It is also important to have a working knowledge of how to use the items in the kit. In the case of an emergency in the mountains, it is important to be aware of the potential hazards. Knowing how to identify and respond to potential hazards such as avalanches, rock falls, and inclement weather is essential. It is also important to be aware of the potential for hypothermia and frostbite, and to know how to respond to these conditions. Finally, it is important to know how to evacuate an injured person from the mountains. Knowing how to safely transport an injured person from the mountains can be the difference between life and death. First aid and first aid skills are essential in the case of an emergency in the mountains. Knowing how to respond to an emergency situation in the mountains can be the difference between life and death. It is important to be prepared for any emergency situation, and having a basic knowledge of first aid is essential. Having the proper equipment and a working knowledge of how to use it is also essential. Knowing how to identify and respond to potential hazards such as avalanches, rock falls, and inclement weather is also essential. Finally, it is important to know how to safely transport an injured person from the mountains. By being prepared and informed, you can ensure a safe and enjoyable experience in the mountains. First aid skills are essential for anyone planning to explore the mountains. Accidents can happen at any time, and being prepared with the knowledge and skills to handle an emergency can save lives and prevent serious injuries. In this article, we will discuss the importance of first aid in the mountains and some essential first aid skills that every adventurer should know. Why first aid is important in the mountains. The mountains present unique challenges and hazards that can increase the risk of accidents and injuries. Hiking trails can be narrow and rocky, with steep drop-offs and unstable terrain. Weather conditions can change rapidly and unexpectedly, and altitude sickness can be a significant risk at higher elevations. In the event of an accident or injury, emergency services may be far away, and it may take time for help to arrive. This is why having basic first aid skills is crucial for anyone planning to explore the mountains. Knowing how to provide immediate care and stabilize a patient can make all the difference in the outcome of an emergency. Essential first aid skills for the mountains. Here are some essential first aid skills that every adventurer should know. CPR and AED use, cardiopulmonary resuscitation, CPR and automated external defibrillator, AED, use are essential skills that can save lives in the event of cardiac arrest. In the mountains, where emergency services may be far away, knowing how to perform CPR and use an AED can be particularly important. Wound care. In the mountains, injuries such as cuts, scrapes, and blisters can occur frequently. Knowing how to clean and dress wounds properly can prevent infections and promote healing. It is essential to carry a first aid kit with supplies such as antiseptic solution, sterile gauze, adhesive bandages, and medical tape. Splinting. Injuries such as sprains, fractures, and dislocations can occur in the mountains, and knowing how to splint an injured limb can help stabilize the injury and prevent further damage. Improvised splints can be made using materials such as sticks, trekking poles, or even a rolled-up jacket. Hypothermia and frostbite. Hypothermia and frostbite are significant risks in the mountains, particularly in cold and wet conditions. Recognizing the symptoms and providing proper care, such as rewarming and shelter, can prevent serious complications. Altitude sickness. Altitude sickness can occur at higher elevations and can cause symptoms such as headache, dizziness, and nausea. Knowing how to recognize and treat altitude sickness, such as rest and hydration, can prevent serious complications such as pulmonary or cerebral edema. Communication and emergency response. In the event of an emergency, communication and emergency response skills are crucial. Knowing how to call for help, provide accurate location information, and perform basic search and rescue techniques can make all the difference in the outcome of an emergency. Training and preparation. While learning first aid skills is essential, it is also important to receive proper training and preparation before heading into the mountains. Taking a first aid course, such as a wilderness first aid or wilderness first responder course, can provide in-depth training and prepare you for a variety of emergency situations. In addition to training, it is essential to carry a well-stocked first aid kit with you on all mountain adventures. The kit should include items such as bandages, gauze, medical tape, antiseptic solution, pain relievers, and emergency blankets. It is also important to familiarize yourself with the contents of your first aid kit and know how to use each item. Communication is also key in the mountains. Before heading out, let someone know your itinerary and expected return time. Carry a charged cell phone or satellite communication device, and know how to call for help in case of an emergency. Conclusion. In summary, first aid skills are essential for anyone planning to explore the mountains. The unique challenges and hazards of mountain environments increase the risk of accidents and injuries. And knowing how to provide immediate care and stabilize a patient can make all the difference in the outcome of an emergency. Essential first aid skills for the mountains include CPR and AED use, wound care, splinting, hypothermia, and frostbite care, altitude sickness recognition and care, and communication and emergency response skills. Proper training, preparation, and carrying a well-stocked first aid kit are also crucial for mountain safety. How to find food and poison in the mountains. Exploring the mountains can be a thrilling and rewarding experience, but it is important to have the necessary skills and knowledge to stay safe. Knowing how to find food and avoid poison in the mountains is essential for any successful mountain trip. Here are some tips for finding food and avoiding poison in the mountains. Identifying edible plants. One of the most important skills for finding food in the mountains is the ability to identify edible plants. It is important to be familiar with the local plants, as some plants may be edible in one region but poisonous in another. It is also important to be aware of the potential dangers of foraging, such as poisonous plants or animals. Finding water. Finding water is another essential skill for any mountain trip. It is important to be aware of the local water sources, such as streams, rivers, and lakes. It is also important to know how to purify water, as this will help ensure that it is safe to drink. Avoiding poisonous plants. It is important to be aware of the potential dangers of foraging, such as poisonous plants. It is important to be familiar with the local plants, as some plants may be edible in one region but poisonous in another. It is also important to be aware of the common signs of poisonous plants, such as a bitter taste, a burning sensation, or a rash. Avoiding poisonous animals. It is also important to be aware of the potential dangers of foraging, such as poisonous animals. It is important to be familiar with the local wildlife, as some animals may be harmless in one region but dangerous in another. It is also important to be aware of the common signs of poisonous animals, such as a foul smell, a bright color, or a loud noise. Cooking food safely. Once food has been found, it is important to cook it safely. It is important to be aware of the potential dangers of undercooked food, such as bacteria or parasites. It is also important to be aware of the potential dangers of eating wild plants, such as toxins or allergens. Finding food and avoiding poison in the mountains can be a challenging but rewarding experience. With the right preparation and knowledge, you can explore the mountains with confidence and peace of mind. By mastering the essential skills for finding food and avoiding poison in the mountains, you can be sure to have a safe and successful mountain trip. Finding food and water in the mountains can be a challenging and potentially dangerous task. While the mountains offer a beautiful and serene wilderness, they also present unique challenges when it comes to survival. In this article, we will explore some essential tips for finding food and identifying poisonous plants in the mountains. Finding food in the mountains. Learn about edible plants. One of the best ways to find food in the mountains is to familiarize yourself with the local edible plants. This can be done through research, field guides, and training courses. Some common edible plants found in the mountains include berries, nuts, and edible mushrooms. It's important to note that not all plants are safe to eat and some can be poisonous. Therefore, it's essential to be knowledgeable about the plants in the area and to avoid anything that you are unsure about. Additionally, it's important to remember that some edible plants require preparation before consumption, such as cooking or soaking in water. Look for animal sign. Another way to find food in the mountains is to look for animal sign. This can include tracks, scat, and signs of feeding. Animals such as deer, rabbits, and squirrels are commonly found in the mountains and can provide a source of protein. It's important to note that hunting and trapping laws vary by location, and it's essential to follow all local regulations. Additionally, hunting and trapping require specific skills and knowledge, and it's important to practice them safely and responsibly. 3. Carry emergency food. Even if you are knowledgeable about edible plants and animal sign, it's always a good idea to carry emergency food with you. This can include high-energy snacks such as nuts, granola bars, or jerky. Having a backup food source can provide a sense of security and ensure that you have enough energy to continue your journey. Identifying poisonous plants in the mountains. Research. The best way to identify poisonous plants in the mountains is to research them before you go. This can be done through field guides, online resources, and training courses. It's essential to familiarize yourself with the poisonous plants in the area and to understand their characteristics. Look for warning signs. Some poisonous plants have distinct warning signs that can help you identify them. For example, poison ivy has 3 shiny leaves and poison oak has leaves that resemble oak leaves. Additionally, some plants have distinct colors, such as red berries or white flowers, that can indicate toxicity. Be cautious. Even if you are knowledgeable about poisonous plants, it's important to be cautious when exploring the mountains. Avoid touching or consuming any plant that you are unsure about. When in doubt, it's always better to err on the side of caution. Seek medical attention. If you believe that you have come into contact with a poisonous plant, seek medical attention immediately. Symptoms of poisoning can include skin irritation, nausea, vomiting, and difficulty breathing. It's important to seek medical attention as soon as possible and to inform medical professionals of the potential exposure to a poisonous plant. In conclusion, finding food and identifying poisonous plants in the mountains can be a challenging task, but with proper preparation and knowledge, it can be done safely and effectively. Familiarizing yourself with edible plants and animal sign can provide a source of sustenance, while carrying emergency food can provide a backup source of energy. Identifying poisonous plants requires research, caution, and knowledge of warning signs. It's important to be cautious when exploring the mountains, avoid touching or consuming any plant that you are unsure about, and seek medical attention if you believe that you have come into contact with a poisonous plant. When exploring the mountains, it's important to respect the environment and to leave no trace. Practice responsible foraging by only taking what you need and avoiding damage to plants and their habitats. Additionally, it's important to follow all local regulations regarding hunting, trapping, and foraging. By following these tips and practicing responsible foraging, you can safely and effectively find food and identify poisonous plants in the mountains. Time management skills. Learn how to effectively organize your time and prioritize work. Time management is an important skill to have in order to be successful in both your personal and professional life. It involves organizing your time effectively and prioritizing work in order to achieve your goals. The first step in learning how to manage your time is to identify your goals. This could include both short-term and long-term goals. Once you have identified your goals, you can start to create a plan for how to achieve them. This could involve creating a daily or weekly schedule, setting deadlines, and breaking down tasks into manageable chunks. It is also important to prioritize tasks. This means focusing on the most important tasks first, and leaving the less important tasks for later. This can help ensure that you are spending your time on the tasks that are most important to you. In addition to prioritizing tasks, it is also important to practice self-discipline. This means creating routines and sticking to them. It is important to remember that it takes time and effort to develop self-discipline, but it can be a powerful tool in managing your time effectively. Finally, it is important to take breaks. Taking regular breaks can help to reduce stress and improve focus. This could involve taking a short walk, listening to music, or engaging in a creative activity. Time management is an important skill to have in order to be successful in both your personal and professional life. It involves organizing your time effectively and prioritizing work in order to achieve your goals. This involves identifying your goals, creating a plan, prioritizing tasks, practicing self-discipline, and taking breaks. By taking these steps, you can learn how to manage your time effectively and prioritize work. In today's fast-paced world, managing time effectively is essential for success. Good time management skills involve prioritizing tasks, organizing time efficiently, and avoiding procrastination. In this article, we will explore ways to develop time management skills. Create a schedule. Creating a schedule is crucial for effective time management. This involves identifying tasks that need to be completed and scheduling them in a way that maximizes productivity. Prioritize important tasks and allocate sufficient time to complete them. Be realistic with your schedule and avoid overcommitting yourself. Remember to include breaks and downtime to recharge and prevent burnout. Avoid procrastination. Procrastination is a major obstacle to effective time management. Avoiding procrastination involves being aware of your tendency to put off tasks and developing strategies to overcome it. This can include breaking tasks into smaller, manageable parts, setting deadlines, and eliminating distractions. Prioritize tasks. Prioritizing tasks is essential for effective time management. Identify tasks that are urgent and important and prioritize them accordingly. This can help you avoid wasting time on less important tasks and ensure that critical tasks are completed on time. Use tools such as to-do lists or task managers to help prioritize tasks and stay organized. Set goals. Setting goals is an important aspect of effective time management. This involves identifying what you want to achieve and developing a plan to reach those goals. Break down larger goals into smaller, achievable tasks and set deadlines to keep yourself accountable. Use your goals as a guide to help prioritize tasks and ensure that you are working towards what is most important to you. Eliminate distractions. Distractions can be a major obstacle to effective time management. Identify common distractions and develop strategies to eliminate them. This can include turning off notifications on your phone or computer, closing unnecessary tabs or apps, and finding a quiet workspace. Avoid multitasking, as it can reduce productivity and increase stress. Delegate tasks. Delegating tasks can help you manage your time more effectively. Identify tasks that can be delegated to others and assign them accordingly. This can help free up time for more important tasks and prevent burnout. Delegating tasks also promotes teamwork and collaboration, which can improve overall productivity and morale. Be flexible. Effective time management involves being flexible and adaptable. Unexpected events or changes in priorities can occur, so it is important to be able to adjust your schedule and priorities accordingly. Be prepared to make changes to your schedule when necessary and avoid becoming too rigid in your approach. Conclusion. In conclusion, developing time management skills is essential for success in today's fast-paced world. Effective time management involves creating a schedule, avoiding procrastination, prioritizing tasks, setting goals, eliminating distractions, delegating tasks, and being flexible. Remember, good time management takes practice and consistency, but the benefits are worth it. By managing your time effectively, you can increase productivity, reduce stress, and achieve your goals. In a world with 24 hours in a day and an endless list of priorities, tasks, and demands, effective time management is crucial for success. Yet for many people, organizing their time and staying on top of obligations remains a struggle. Developing strong time management skills requires awareness, discipline, planning, and persistence. Here are some key strategies to help you master the art of time management. Make a to-do list. Write down all your tasks and prioritize them by importance and urgency. Checking things off as you complete them gives a huge sense of accomplishment and progress. Decision skills. Learn how to make smart and right decisions in life. Decision skills are essential for making informed decisions and solving complex problems. It involves the ability to think logically, analyze and evaluate information objectively, and draw reasoned conclusions. Developing decision skills requires practice and patience, but it is an important skill that can be used in many aspects of life. What are decision skills? Decision skills are the ability to analyze, evaluate, and synthesize information in order to draw reasoned conclusions. It involves the ability to think logically and objectively, and to consider alternative perspectives. Decision skills also involve the ability to identify and assess arguments and to recognize logical fallacies. Developing decision skills. Developing decision skills requires practice and patience. Here are some tips for developing your decision skills. Read widely and critically. Reading is one of the best ways to develop your decision skills. Read a variety of materials and consider different perspectives on the same topic. Ask questions. Asking questions is an important part of decision-making. Ask yourself questions such as, what assumptions am I making? And what evidence do I have to support my argument? Challenge your beliefs. Challenge your own beliefs and assumptions and consider alternative perspectives. Practice logical reasoning. Practice logical reasoning by examining the evidence and arguments for and against a particular position. Develop your analytical skills. Develop your analytical skills by breaking down complex problems into smaller, more manageable parts. Benefits of decision skills. Developing decision skills can have many benefits, including improved problem-solving skills. Decision skills can help you identify and solve problems more effectively. Improved decision-making skills. Decision skills can help you make better decisions by considering all the available evidence and options. Improved communication skills. Decision skills can help you communicate more effectively by considering different perspectives and arguments. Improved creativity. Decision skills can help you come up with creative solutions to problems. Conclusion. Decision skills are essential for making informed decisions and solving complex problems. Developing decision skills requires practice and patience, but it is an important skill that can be used in many aspects of life. With the right mindset and dedication, you can develop your decision skills and use them to your advantage. Decision-making is an essential aspect of life. Every day, we make decisions that impact our lives, from small ones like what to wear, to major ones like choosing a career or life partner. Being able to make smart and right decisions is a skill that can be learned and improved through practice. In this article, we will discuss what decision skills are, why they matter, and how to develop them. What are decision skills? Decision skills are the ability to make thoughtful and informed decisions based on available information, analysis, and judgment. They involve considering multiple options, weighing the pros and cons, and making a choice that best aligns with our goals and values. Why do decision skills matter? Being able to make smart and right decisions is important for several reasons. Achieving goals. Making the right decisions can help individuals achieve their goals and aspirations, whether it's personal or professional. Avoiding regrets. Making poor decisions can lead to regrets and negatively impact our lives in the long run. Building confidence. Developing decision skills can help individuals build confidence in their abilities to make sound judgments. Reducing stress. Making decisions can be stressful, but having strong decision skills can help individuals feel more in control and reduce stress levels. How to develop decision skills. Developing decision skills is a process that requires practice and self-reflection. Here are some strategies for developing decision skills. Clarify your values and goals. Having a clear idea of your values and goals can help you make decisions that align with them. Take some time to reflect on what is important to you and what you want to achieve in life. Gather information. Collect as much relevant information as possible before making a decision. This can involve researching, consulting experts or mentors, or seeking advice from trusted friends and family members. Weigh the pros and cons, consider the advantages and disadvantages of each option. Make a list and evaluate each factor based on their importance to you. Consider alternative perspectives. Take time to consider alternative perspectives and viewpoints. This can help you identify potential blind spots and biases. Trust your instincts. While it's important to gather information and consider alternative perspectives, ultimately, trust your instincts and intuition. If something doesn't feel right, it may be a sign that you need to reconsider your decision. Practice decision-making. Like any skill, decision-making requires practice. Start with small decisions and gradually work your way up to more significant ones. Learn from your mistakes. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Mistakes are an opportunity to learn and improve your decision-making skills.